Hey, it's Mark Lanier with your video thoughts for the day. This is Feet Week, and I'm looking at biblical passages that talk about feet. And as I've done so with the reflection of the idea that within the mentality, especially of the Old Testament, the Hebrew mentality, feet not only stood for those things at the end of your leg, but feet also was used as an illustration, a metaphor, if you will, or a word for what you're doing with your life, your productivity, where you're headed, if you will. And in that regard, I'm looking today at Psalm 40. Now, I make no secret out of the fact this is one of my favorite Psalms, and I've looked at it in the years gone by on these video thoughts for the day. But what I'd like to do, well, that was a big bus that just went by. What I'd like to do is focus on the feet aspect of the Psalm, because I've not done that before, and it's so relevant if we understand that feet are symbolic of our life journey, of what we're doing with our life. And so in that framework, listen to Psalm 40. The psalmist says, I waited patiently for the Lord. He inclined, he bent down and heard my cry. He lifted me up from the pit, from the miry, boggy pit. He lifted me up from like that stuff that you just step in and you just start getting squishy and bogged down, and it's so hard. It's like the nature's equivalent of wet cement. It says he lifted me out of that and set my feet upon a rock, made my footsteps firm. This is an answer to the psalmist's understanding that there are times in life where what we think we want, the direction we're headed, is not so clear, where it seems like we're stuck. We kind of are in a rut. We don't seem to be making progress. I've got a buddy who actually listens to these video thoughts for the day often, who told me he'd recently retired and that he woke up every day and he didn't really have something to do. And it was frustrating to him. He felt like, you know, in a sense, he was in a rut of being stuck with not anything compared to his earlier life when he worked all the time, just really, really hard in a major productive way. And I think about that because it can be that situation or another situation where you just feel like you're running and you're running and you're running, but you're not getting anywhere, which, by the way, is interesting because that fella's running, and he's sort of getting somewhere. In fact, he's running over there to Westminster and Parliament. But the idea that you're running on a hamster wheel and not getting anywhere, lots of different ways that you can feel like your life is stuck in the mud. And we wait patiently for the Lord. He doesn't just snap his fingers and bring deliverance, but the psalmist says, wait patiently, and he will lift you out of that miry bog, out of the mud, and he'll put your feet on a rock where you're able to stand and move, and your footsteps will be firm. What it means in this symbolic sense is God will take you out of your rut in God's good timing, and he will give you the things you need to be doing for him. Now, that's a pretty good place to be, and that's why it is your video thought for the day. Last day on Feet tomorrow. I'll see you then. Bye-bye.